Well, welcome to the Bowls Maker Group again. Today we're going to just discuss what's going on. I was finally able to make one of these signs. It's not this one, but the sign that's on the printer worked very well. So I'm going to go ahead and make a second one to make sure it wasn't a fluke. You'll see that in the stream out what we're printing. Also, I got some more trash pandas being produced, or raccoons, little cute fidgets. Also making more storage containers because you can't have enough bins when you've got as much stuff as I have. So kind of organize myself. You can see my lovely little cat coming in to say hi. Hi, Tigress. Yeah. So my little helper. We have some display pieces being made. So with that said, let's jump over and see what we're actually doing. Share my screen. And you can see what we've got going on here. There's a little trash pandas. There's that sign being built again. We have some storage containers being built. Right here, you can see some bins. And now we're playing fun games with the Cobra S1 while we're building it. We're going to heat soak that bed and then do a use wrinkles to see what the bed mesh looks like and see what we can do about fixing it. I saw a post from somebody that suggested that you heat the bed up and unscrew with the screws not tight and let it expand and then tighten it. So we're kind of doing something opposite where heating the bed up, see what the level is, and then I'm going to unscrew the screws while it's still heated. A little dangerous, and then let it shake down. Just snug it just a little bit and redo it. So while we're doing that, let's look at the project we're going to do. So I'm with the Scouts. I do scouting, so I need to know how long a round for 22 is because I need to make a little. Basically, the diameter is 0.222, obviously. So I believe that is in inches. So we're going to make a little round circle for a 22-inch diameter. Cool. So let's go over to Shaper because that'll be probably the easiest thing to use for this. You could use Rhino, you could use some other tools, but this is just really a CAD exercise to make a container for a specialized thing. So we open up Shaper, which I don't know if you can see me, but hopefully that you can. I'm going to skip the tour. We're going to make a new item. We're going to call this project something. 22 long rifle storage. If I can spell, that'd be great. Storage. Okay. So first things first, we want to be on the top. I tend to be on the top when I work on things like this. So I have an X and Y right here. Do a sketch. We want to do a rectangle because why not? 40 by, let's do 40 by 40. Nice little square. Now, because we want to have this work for a case, right? We need to put some additional widths here. That way we can set the extrusion at different heights. So I did a 40 by 40, but it's not going to be a 40 by 40, right? So, come on, 40, 40. Okay. See if you get that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to then offset this because that is going to make it easier for what we're doing. So offset is the edge, right? We're going to select the edge here, and we're going to do about 3 millimeter. And we offset this edge, and that's going to be 3 millimeter. And offset this edge, like that, 3 millimeter. Right, now we've got this done. Now I could either stretch this and connect them, or I could just make another rectangle. To be honest, that's probably the easiest thing to do is just do it in a rectangle. So now we have a box within a box. So we can 3 millimeter box, pretty sturdy, have a flat, and then we can extrude it. Now, because we want this to be a box within a box, right? This is where it gets fun. We probably want to have some sort of box inside that we want to edge. We want to offset that by 1. Okay. So now we have the thicknesses here. Why is this important? Well, now we can make the box here. We're going to lift this one up, say 3. Now we're going to lift this up, say, I don't know. How tall are the rounds again? Go back to our research here. The overall length is an inch, should work fine. 0.695. Right? So we can switch our measurements to here, to inch, make it a little easier. And we go 0.75. All right, you see that now? And now we have this other one where we can go 2 inches. So now, see what we got going on here? Now we have a case within a case, right? Isn't that nice? So we're going to turn these off because we want to see the sketch. So now we want squares. Because these are squares and they're 0.22 millimeter, right? But you got to keep in mind you need a thickness. So if I do here and I do something like this, but I want to see this in decimals. Okay, so that's not big enough, right? So this has to be about 0.23. This has to be about, escape, 0.23. Why do we say that? Because that's how thick we need it for it to be anything. So because we actually need it a little wider, let's say 0.26, so we got 0.3 for thickness of that wall. Okay? So now we're going to do that offset command again. We have commanded here. You can see here, we're going to do a little offset. Nope, not offset face. We want to offset the lines. So we go back to offset edge. We check that we wanted to chain, and we want to do this. So we want to go inside 0.03. Oh, no, negative. It has to be negative. Negative 0.03. Now we have a box in a box, which is great. Because now we've got this shape, and we got this shape, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to lift this. Okay, so we already have this base here. So we want that to be, switch this back to millimeters because I'm just a millimeter person. We want that to be about 4 millimeters. Switch this back to inches because we have the destination in inches. If the overall length is 0.695, right? Well, you don't want to have to pull everything out. So you're looking at being able to pull this sucker up. So we can make shorts or we can make long. I'm doing a rifle, so I want the 88. So let's say we want to put it at 0.8 so that it sticks out a bit. So this is how you do it from your design. You just keep going. So you click on this guy, and we want that to be 0.8. All right. So you can see now we've made a nice little box inside of a box. All right. Now watch the fun parts. So we're going to select this, and now what we're going to do is copy it. And then we're going to move it over. Make sure it touches. See that? Just make sure it touches. Okay. Yeah, that's good, right? Now we're going to copy these, copy them, and then we're going to move them. All And drag them over. Drag them over just a hair like that, right? Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, I'm going to click off of it. Now we're going to do this one, then this one, this one, and this one. Oh, see what we got there? We want this one and this one. No, we want this one, this one, this one. Okay, select it. We want to select this. It's a face. So we want the body here, and we want this body, right? We want to copy that one because I'm not really sure I can get that fourth one in there. I can't. But never fear. We will adjust our measurements here. So instead of a 40 by 40, like we had, because we had these guys on, right? They're very straightforward to fix, right? So it's going to shape like this, right? You can see that. It looks pretty good. All right, well, let's see here. If I select all these and I move them to the center, right? Now I can just move this out a bit. And ideally, this free forming, so, you know, just going to make it a little more structure to the thing, that's all. Okay, so now we have that, and we're going to select all these objects, and then we're going to, oh, we're missing one. Are we missing one? Oh, we were missing one. See what's going on here. That box can go away. We don't need that. And we don't need that box. So let's find out where that little box came from. Ah, there it goes. Okay. We're going to select these and make them into the folder. And the rename this is round boxes. Row 1. Okay. So now I can select round boxes row 1. Turn on my lovely device here. Still select round boxes row 1, copy it. And check that it fits. A little overlap's okay for what we're doing. Right? Now we got round boxes too. Not really sure what's going on here. It's a little strange, but okay. And maybe they're making my structure a little more complex than it needs to be, but that happens. So I turn this one off, and then I turn this one off, and turn this one on. Look what we got going on here. We got something going on here. Oh, see, we had an extra round. Somehow it copied twice. That's okay. We can live with that, right? We now have 3 rounds. Now we're going to select all 3, copy them, and move them over like this. Just a hair bit. You just want the hair covered. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and turn one of these off. Okay, so this round goes off. Well, we got multiple copies going on here. I don't understand, but it's some weirdness going on. Okay, so we need that one. You can see there's some weird effects going on here. Like it's copying a copy of a copy. Okay. Let's see. That looks about right. Now keep in mind we already have the box down here, and this box, right? So, since we don't need these two by copying them by accident, delete them, clean them up. Zoom out here. Doesn't look like we need that shape. These shapes we don't need. Solve factor the copy. Simplify this model as much as we can. Okay, so we now have these row boxes. We're just going to move them a little bit over. Right? And then we're going to do the same thing we did to the other part of the structure. All right, and same thing here. Okay. All right, now we have this shape. So this can go down a bit. Right? So we now have a round holder. Now we don't have a lid for it, but we were about to solve that. So we do a sketch again. We connect here with, oh, we gotta make sure we're on top. Undo what we just did. Make sure we're on top, otherwise it won't work so well. Make sure we have rectangle. Make sure we're right here. Okay. Right, and these are all a shape. We're going to call this box. These all get put in a folder, and we're going to call these, yeah, box. Okay, so we can turn box off, and we can turn these rows off. Okay, so here's the issue. We look at box, right? We need a way for this to have a lid, right? So ideally, I would like to have a shape that is inside this so that when you are using it, right? You can 3 points. 1, 2. I wish it would let me actually do what I wanted to do instead of being a pain ass about it. Okay, we want to go here, and we want to go here, and we want to go, well, what the heck is that? Here, and we want to go here. Right, and we want these two shapes. So we turn off everything else. All the other shapes are off, right? We finish our shape. Turn off original sketch. Okay, so what we're going to do here, do we know how tall it is? Let's turn on our shape again. Let's look how tall it is. So we want to know. It's 1.0781. Okay, let's see what that is in millimeters. Probably easier. 27.4. Okay. Let's just do 27.5 millimeter. Oh, whoops. No, that would actually work better, but okay. But for what I'm doing here is 27.5. Okay. So we go back here, we turn off our box. Now, what we want to do here is all this we want to move. Right? We want to move it up 27.5. Perfect, right? Now we want to go have this one go down. So we put it as a negative, say -8. And this one we want it to go up. So say +8. Now we also want this to go total of 16. Right? So now it's all one shape. So let's go ahead and turn that box back on. Oh, we got a box with a lid. Isn't that cool? So now it should fit. Now it's not to be hasty here. We need to make sure we make this very nicely fitting. So we chamfer. I do a nice little one chamfer on all the things. That's my personal preference. You can do whatever you'd like, but basically I just choose one. The purpose of this is to make sure they're not tight fittings, and if you have elephant's feet or whatever, it'll fit nice and easy, right? Give it some space. So we have these bodies, so we're not going to turn this off and now turn on the other bodies, right? So we can leave the outside the way it is, but again, we put the one chamfer here, the one chamfer here, the one chamfer here, and the one chamfer here. Same thing here. One, one. Because you don't want to have sharp edges when you stick your finger in there, right? Okay, so now we have a box with a lid that we can put in here. I'm going to put this one in here. You can see how that fits in there. Fits pretty snugly. Snugly. It looks like the box is a little shallow, but that's okay. It actually fits inside, right? So if you turn that one off, look here, you'll see it fits here as a flat edge. Now what we were looking for is it to sit inside so that the entire shape works, right? Well, what we're going to do here to make sure it's a snug fit, right, is we're going to take this off, and we're going to lift this up about 6 more millimeters. Now, that seems to have been too much. And it's possible. Okay, so we take the lid off, right? So we look at these shapes and say, oh, okay. This shape here, it does look like we can turn off, because I don't think we need this shape. I'm going to delete it. Turn this one back on. Turn this one on. Okay, so they all fit nicely, nice and snug together here. There's a little bit of a gap here, which is interesting. Since we're going to break it, it's not so big a deal. So if I can get it to home, we'll get it to home. All right, I'm just trying to zoom out. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so you can see there, it's not fitting as snugly as I like. So we're going to turn this off. Look here. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. So I suggested this also. So we're turning these sketches off. So we don't have any issues there, right? So we want this to go to 21. So if we put the shape in there, does that fit inside? It does look like it's fitting inside, doesn't it? Good. And now we turn the lid on. We now know that there's a lid. And that's perfect. Now it's got a little shape issue here. So we're going to figure out how we're going to make that. That could work. Could be a little air hole, but more than likely we don't want it to do that. But for this exercise, it's close enough. I got to figure out how to clean that up because I chamfered it. Basically, what you can do if you need to unchamfer something is to go in here and go 0. See that? And now, even though I wanted it chamfered, it's probably not a good idea. since I wanted the shape when I print it to be solid. But I can run it off. Okay, so now we have this lovely little box that we can use to store 22 rounds in. Nice little stackable box, and it looks like it'll fit. So it's kind of a cool little design. I hope you all like it. You see it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it holds 25 rounds. You can see it's a little funky in the bottom. It's more likely the shape than anything else. So it's going to be a fun little design. Thank you for here. I hope you enjoyed the video. And we'll go from here. So let me figure out how to close the video. And again, let's see the stream going. Oh, let's log into our Cobra S1 here. I told you I was letting it heat soak for that entire time. You can see that the heater bed turned off for some reason. Most likely because I was away. So let's look at this lovely heat bed we got going on here. Got some weird little shapes. It's pretty close range, but it may be easier if I unscrew the screws and let it set once it's hot, which is what I'm going to do. So right now I'm going to go ahead and hit calibrate, see what it's at right now. You can see the bed's already up to 80. So we're going to let it do its thing and I'll come back to it and I'll let you know tomorrow. So thank you for attending. I hope you had a great day. And I got to stop the stream. Stop the share. Have a good day.